It's a part of voice review. Sangi, Jeff?
Yesterday, CN is the 12th day of May, 2018, Saturday, and tomorrow is Mother's Day. Everyone will be celebrating Mother's Day and giving recognition to all those mothers who've brought up their children in the right way. And yesterday we experienced a sudden blackout around, I think it was 5
I got a blackout, I had blackout.
Yeah, but we have to make that less frequent. Now also, many people have been talking about, I saw a fellow named Hines, I think Nigel Hines, who aspires to be a prime minister, and he was very critical of the handcuffs being put on Ashley Singh and also the other guy, Mr. Brassington. But CN, you yourself were put had handcuffs and shackles.
Yes, yes.
And what I'm saying is that they should only do that for dangerous criminals or people who are suspected to be dangerous, rather than, they should have that, maybe put it in law if they can't practice it, they should put it in law now so that it can be put into practice right away, because it has been done all the time. Again, probably the treason accused, like Ben Shupp and so on, I had to pay in that manner. So what we're saying is that we have to look at it on both sides. Be fair.
Yeah.
Not only because when you were in power, when they were in power, they saw nothing wrong. Now they're seeing it that is wrong. It is wrong to do that to innocent people. You're innocent until proven guilty. They should not do that, unless it's a person's a dangerous person or suspected to be a very dangerous person.
Who do you think dangerous?
It might have a man who committed a murder or was being charged for murder or something like that. He might want to run away or something. You don't know, But these guys, these are white-collar situations where, I don't think it deserves that. Now, Mark Benchop also in Wednesday's paper said that piracy flourished under the PPPC regime for 23 years. And he commented on that. Then he said, not a word from the Minister of Agriculture. What a shame. That was his exact words, Mark Benchop.
Okay.
Now, I see Mr. Dookie, the former head of the SWAT unit, who has been accused of smuggling 30 cases of whiskey in December last year. He's back on the job. They posted him to A Division, where he is serving as number 2.
He cannot drink whiskey or drink?
I don't know. He's serving as number 2 subdivision officer. I will want to know what has been happening in terms of the case against him. It should be what the DPP is saying about that. Now, chairman of Demerara Bank, Yesu Pasod, has predicted that economic growth for 2018 will remain below 3%. We'll see if his prediction will come true. Guyana's economy, according to Kaichur News, is facing poor returns from sugar, bauxite, and forestry. Rice, they said, with new markets in Cuba and Mexico, coupled with high yields, has been doing well this year for farmers. We'll have the views of Mr. Rahman on that. But Stabrook Business News reports that Brazil is now the leading rice supplier to Venezuela, and Mexico has become the second largest supplier to Venezuela, but of milled rice. So we're selling the paddy to Mexico, and Mexico is selling the milled rice to Venezuela. Exactly. So Mr. Rahman will explain further on that. Now, also in yesterday's paper, there was a list of the achievements of the coalition government. Yes. Over the 3 years, and we know that. I don't want to touch on that. I don't want to touch on that. But 3 years of the coalition government has come to pass. On May 11th. So that is the.
Sir, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Jaideo Dudnot, well known as Jaideo.
Where you live?
Well, I live at New Road,
Okay. What's your occupation?
I'm really a pensioner.
Okay.
A pensioner.
Okay.
And, right now, I am a freelance radio broadcaster at NCN.
Yes. So you know the freelance radio station. What are you going to want to achieve in this by doing this?
Well, I want to be a part of CNS Radio, the rhythm of your life.
Yes.
And I think because with the experience that I have in radio broadcasting.
How many years?
22 years.
What?
So I think if given a chance, I can really make a significant contribution to the upliftment of radio at CNS.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you over there.
Agree with Mr.
It's always got to go in the people's program. They say, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, voice of the people is the voice of God.
Yes.
I would like to dedicate this period to all mothers. I think we should not underplay the significance of mothers in our present environment and in the global environment. Particularly in developing countries, women, mothers, have had to go through tremendous stress and strain. I think it's good that we've set aside a day to honor them, to show them regard, and to appeal to our male counterparts to treat women and mothers properly, to treat them with love, and not to brutalize them either physically or psychologically. Too often we see motherhood as a biological operation and just the producing and making of a child. For me, motherhood is much more than that. It is putting into the world a human being and nurturing that person to provide sustenance to the family and to be a productive member of society. Many of our ordinary women who have become mothers have done that. Very often without the adequate support of men. I think today I would like to appeal to men again, not to treat Mother's Day as taking a gift or making a pious wish for Mother's Day, but to persuade all male husbands, boyfriends, fathers, that they have a vital role to play in the bringing up of our children. We've lost our way for a generation or more. And in that period, mothers, ordinary mothers, mothers with qualifications, have done a remarkable job. Today, we have a new situation. Years ago, a mother was someone who stayed in the house and cooked. Today, you have mothers who are professionals, and they've got to double up. They've got to bring money home, they've got to do their profession, and also nurture and take care of their children. I think we should congratulate them. I say best wishes to all mothers, to my wife who's in London now, my mother-in-law who's here, my daughters who are mothers. One is Atlanta, one is in Texas, one is in Antigua. To wish them all the best.
Right.
And
Tomorrow's Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what we could like to
Well, tomorrow I want to invite all our viewers to tune into CNS television at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for the program Maka Mohobat. That simply means the love of a mother. Yes. That program will be a live call-in segment,
Yes.
Going for just about an hour, where we will have music, greetings, and people will call in and share their views of what they think about what is a mother. I quite agree with Mr. Hamilton Green that a mother is not only to make a child and bring up a child, it means much more than that. And tomorrow, hopefully, we can go through all the tits and bits of what a mother is really. So I would want to encourage all our viewers to tune in tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock for Maka Mohobat, the love of a mother.
Rahman, your view.
I endorse both everything that all of you have said on this. You see, Mr. Green is right. We have taken our women for granted. And if we as men recognize that women are our mothers, sisters, nieces, granddaughters, and aunts, and so on, if we recognize that, then we would not treat other women who probably may not be related to us badly. So there's a lot of education. We need to educate our youngsters in school, and more importantly, the mothers need to bring up their boy children to understand and respect. And the way to do that, Mr. Sharma, pay attention, is to teach your boys how to make up the bed, how to wash, how to clean. It is not a woman's job. If you begin to start to do that at home, charity begins at home. You start to begin to do that at home, then they will begin to learn to understand that the mother, the woman, is not a slave. She's not a house slave. Her job is not to be in the kitchen. So that she's educated equally, like the boy. In the past, you will remember, Mr. Green, you and Mr. Sharma, the parent only want to send the boy's son to school and to secondary school and to university and not the girl. Now that is changing, which is a good thing.
Has changed.
Has changed tremendously.
Yes.
Has changed. So now both boys and girls go to school. You educate your children, all of your children, Mr. Sharma. They all go to school, they go to college, they go to university, they get a profession. So the women liberation thing is working, and we need to educate our men more and more. Our teachers need to be educated in school so that they can have a subject in school. We used to have what is called civic in school, where you used to teach the citizen, the role and duties and responsibility of the citizen. That is not happening. We have lost a whole generation of young people who are now big men and women, who have no respect for their elders. That's another serious matter.
Yes.
You walk on the road, they see you have a gray hair, they call you old man or old woman. And you may be more educated than them, stronger than them physically or mentally. You still contribute to society and the development of society, and yet they denigrate you. That is happening, and that needs to stop. How are we going to stop it? It has this kind of program, when people calling, I hope that they share their experiences with us, because it's a great thing. I had the opportunity,
Well,
Mr.
all of us is attended, all of us senior citizens.
We were treated as senior citizens.
Yeah.
So, but they must respect
Yeah.
the contribution that each and every one of us made to this country, so that they now can enjoy certain things that we were not able to enjoy, Mr. Sharma. And in saying that, I want to raise a few issues, which is very sad. I read this morning, GAU issue a statement. And GAU must take responsibility too, because they contributed to the demise of the sugar industry. Because they were told by the European Union since 1996, they were told that they must reorganize the sugar industry in a way in which they will diversify and take care of the sugar workers. The optimum thing is the sugar workers that we are concerned about, who have lost their job. More than 4,000 sugar workers have lost their job just like that. That's a historic thing. It's never happened in the history of this country. And it must affect every single one of us. It is not about the Indian sugar workers. When you look at the photograph that's in the papers, in Wales, the people who are collecting the things that came, it's a whole community. Both Africans and Indian women are collecting things that were sent from abroad, distributed by GAU.
Okay.
Now, you, Mr. Sharma, you must go down in history as a person who spent a lot of your valuable time liberating these sugar workers. Particularly, you played this program over and over again on television, and it showed one single thing, that the last government had no respect for the sugar workers, because all you were doing was highlighting the brutality. The brutality, I mean, in the modern age. And it is an absolute disgrace that Mr. Jagdeo comes on the television every single day and talks a lot of nonsense about the sugar workers when he is directly responsible for their plight.
That's true.
Directly responsible for their plight. He has not, he calls himself an economist. Now, if you're an economist, Mr. Green was a minister and he held all kinds of positions. I didn't agree with his positions in politics in the past. He sits next to me here, and he can verify that when you are a leader or you put yourself up as a leader, you must have that integrity You must be able to be truthful, and you must be able to accept when you're wrong.
Okay.
And if you don't do that, Mr. Sharma, then you're not a good leader.
Okay.
So you will go down as really the champion of the people. Today, you're still a leader of the Justice for All Party, and this program is called the Voice of the People. So let's hear what the people have to say.
Ma, what do you say? Got to say. Where you live? Tell me where you live.
Katrina, West Coast.
About what brought here? Tell me what you brought. Tell me what you brought here.
I come here for justice.
Yes, justice. Tell me what happened to you.
Sir, I went to the bank and I'm building a house for my son. And I tried to finish off the house now. Well, I went to the bank and I draw 700,000. And I said I'm going to finish off the house with this money. And when I go to the bank now and I collect the money, I went into a bus.
This is the guy with the problem, Mr. Haywood.
Please do it also. Be outside. Be outside, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, when I finish draw the money, I go in a bus. From the bank to the bus. And I say I'm going to Gafur to buy door and window for the house. That was the last thing left for the put on. And while going now, I don't know people behind me.
Truck it now?
Yes.
Okay.
And while going on, when I meet front of Gafur, I jump out the bus. When I come out the bus, I didn't get to go over the road because the bus them going to and fro.
Okay.
And I stand and a man comes straight to me.
Okay.
And he put a gun in front of my stomach and pull away the bag from
Where's your stomach there? Show me your stomach there. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
It's not joking. Go ahead.
Yes. And I stand up and I put on one hollering.
Yes.
Because...
Who shot your fire? Where you hollering for? Where you help? Help. Okay,
yes.
good.
And me alone stand up by myself and the man get away from a boat on a motorbike.
Okay.
He took the bag and he run with it to catch a friend.
Let me stick up it. What did he carry from you?
The whole bag with the
How much money was in this bag?
900,000.
Where you get that 900,000 from?
From the bank.
From the bank?
Mm-hmm.
Which bank?
The bank next to...
What are you doing? $500 bill or $1,000 bill or what?
Five.
All the five?
Yes.
How much money you had in $500 bill?
900,000.
She said 700,000
I just want to find out how much money you was. How much 500,000? All the 500,000?
Yes.
I'm thinking. What's up, right?
Let's take a pin there. See, we want to ask a question. First, you said you went
700.
to draw 700,000.
Yeah.
I draft 7.
So why do you not
two already?
When I done draw the 7, I had 2 from me side.
Oh,
Okay.
And then I have a pension money and everything
Yes,
in the
yes,
bag
yes.
with my pension book and everything.
Okay.
So what do you do with all this money in your position?
Me walk out with it, but me they expect me go fall into.
But why you work with this money? Tell me why you work with this money.
I was going to
You buy things at
business. Business.
It's 180,000 in $500 bills she had.
I had to pay the carpenter and I had to buy door
Yes.
and I had to buy window.
And secret is you're the judge. What is this matter? Tell me what's your view.
It sounds to be a sad situation, but the police and civil society have warned people when they go to the bank. It appears as though there's some set of persons at the bank or colluding with some bank staff that identify people who draw large amounts of money. We've, over the years, identified and advised persons, A, if you're going to collect that kind of money, don't go alone. And secondly, these days, people don't use cash transactions.
Okay.
Or not to.
Ought not to. And it's the kind of thing I would have gone to Gafu, got a costly things, and asked the bank to write a check to Gafu,
Yes.
what have you. But for ordinary people like the lady
They don't know
there,
that.
she is working on the assumption that she did what is best for her. I don't know what the police have done.
Okay.
Has she reported to police?
Yes. Said they reported the police.
Yes, I go to the Parika police station.
What happened?
Okay.
When did this
Nobody
happen?
now give me no answer. anything, and so
You have
they
to go
don't
as
have
far as
nothing.
Parika.
They
The
even
bank
don't
was
call
reading
me
who?
or anything.
Yes, yes.
Your bank was reading up and you went all the way to Parika?
Yes.
He has just reported because that's where the incident took place.
Yes, yes.
Parika is where Gafoor is.
Yes, so the incident
Who
took
has a
place.
branch at Parika.
Okay,
So
okay,
she
I
went
got
there
it,
to
I got it.
So
purchase.
now you lost all this money. How do you intend to repay this money back?
You can
In what, no, hold on. In what way you going to pay this money back? So what you want to pay this money?
I don't know what to say.
So what you was buying during that time?
During the other time, I been a little bit just like that, and I paid the carpenter and I buy material for the house.
Somebody sorry, your review as a moderator for a program.
I quite agree with Mr. Green that, you know, you're not
walk.
supposed to be walking with so much of liquid cash.
Yeah.
You know, as Mr. Green rightly pointed out, that she's supposed to go to Gafoor, get the quotation, how much it would cost, and ask the bank to draw money, just check and pay Gafoor.
Wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
the second thing I'm looking at is the police investigation. I hope they're carrying a thorough investigation. Maybe they have cameras in that bank where they can see people, the movements of people, if anybody followed her out, and the faces of the people. They might be able to recognize some guys who were criminals, and then line them up for, and see if she identifies anybody. So it's the police now to do their work.
Mr. Sankis, you're dreaming. Seriously. I have about 5 cases where the Lenora police are not doing a single thing about it.
But this is
This
Parika.
woman case
This is
adds to
Parika.
the 6th one.
Same here.
Her case adds to the 6th one. There is something fundamentally wrong with the way in which police deal. That is why people do not go and report to the police, because they don't get any
Now,
justice.
so far they won't get no statement from you. You got any
Look,
statement from me?
You must. I
Yes.
agree.
What statement
I
you
agree.
give? You give us a statement?
I give them a statement and they give me back a paper for get my books.
All right,
there.
sit there. Okay, hold on. Yes.
Yes.
The police department is far from perfect. But I don't think it's fair to blame the police for every incident of this nature.
Mr.
Every part of the world you go, there are criminal elements. Every part of the world you go, criminal elements get away for years sometimes.
Yep, but
It's a
Mr.
case. No, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, okay. No.
So we should
Please
not.
don't interrupt anybody, please.
We did that. We should not capriciously blame the police for everything like
Mr.
that.
Green,
If
I
somebody
am-
draws money from the bank,
Please.
All right,
if somebody draws money from the bank, an ordinary woman in a bag, she's followed, what can the police do?
Okay.
Unless you have cameras in the bus, in the bank, as Mr. Sankey said. So we shouldn't blame the police for the incident.
Yes.
It's not the incident I'm talking
Hold on. We don't do it just.
You
Hold
finish?
on. I go ahead, tell me we got to see.
Mr. Green, I'm not talking about the incident. You have a lot of experience over the years, the way in which police are supposed to operate. That is what I am talking about. And something seriously needs to happen about the procedure and the follow-up in the way in which people make complaints and they get no redress.
Yes.
There are cases that
Yeah.
have now been investigated
okay.
about police conduct and their
Call you
own
in here.
behavior.
Hello? Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Speak up, please. Speak up.
Mr. Sharma, the order.
Speak
Yes.
up. Speak up.
I'm sorry, although I'm sorry for the lady
Yes.
lost her 900,000.
Yeah.
You have to speak up.
Speak
There's
louder.
not-
Speak
Although
louder.
I'm sorry for the woman that lost her 900,000.
Yes.
Yes.
But people seems not to take precaution, although the police giving you a warning. I've heard our crime chief a number of times say, you pay heed. It would have cost her probably $1,500, $1,000 for her up to break out a taxi, and the taxi would have dropped her directly to the door. Pennywise pound foolish. We want to save $1,500 and pay $100.
Oh, they could have
And
followed us.
where Mr. Rahman, you be blaming the police can't be here, there, and everywhere. It's a procedure, not because you go and report. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. She boarded a bus.
Okay.
She didn't say if the guy was in the bus or he just appeared on a motorcycle or whatever it is. So when you go and report that to the police got a whole long drawn out system. And then they got, Gafford should have had cameras around. I mean, if you're doing a business, you need to offer some sort of security for your customer. They should have had camera, and if they bust, if she got robbed in the compound of Gafford, that should have picked up. But if it's on the road, she should have taken a taxi and let the taxi drive into Gafford. Mr. Green, if she was looking at saving money, then it would have been going to Gafford, get quotation, go back to Fernando, get that. But I think that whatever bank she went to, they would have had branches in Parika.
Yes.
And she could have gone to Parika and draw the money and get a taxi from Parika to Gafford. Gafford is in Parika, I suggest, or to what she's saying.
Yes, yes.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please ask Mr. Ram, and he's back on the program. He interrupting everybody, please. And it doesn't sound good out here.
Okay, sorry.
He needs to control his thing that he wants to talk all the time.
Okay.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And let's hear
Thank you very much.
You.
Yes, finally, we're going to like to see. Finally, what do you like to see now?
Well, I would ask you to see if you could speak to the police them and let me get back with things them.
Okay. We're my secretary or somewhere we speak to the police.
Speak to the police.
Would you be able to identify those people, those guys?
Yes, I know them.
Give me a description.
She says she
knows
them.
It's a tall person and here, going for the back.
Okay.
That's important. She can identify the person.
I would like you to talk to the commander.
Okay. Commander? Why is it talk to commander?
The Parika one and the Lenora one.
But they're there? Why they're in Soundway? Why they want to talk to commander?
When I go to Lenora,
Okay.
Lenora said
They don't want to hear, yes.
they don't want to hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
Well, Leonora is the problem.
I told you, I know.
Leonora, not Parika.
I live there and I know the situation. I'm dealing with a number of issues.
Yeah, Leonora, you went to Leonora first.
Yes, and when I go to the commander say he can't help me.
Here it goes.
The commander himself?
Who the commander?
That's Mr. Das.
Yes.
Commander Das told you he
Yes.
can't help you.
Yes.
It's quite unusual
He
because
should have directed you to where you could get help.
it's quite
Can't just-
unusual because Commander Das is a good commander. He recently came to Leonora.
Yes, yes.
Okay, anyway, talk to you later on.
Okay.
Okay.
Ram, what would you like to say now?
Well,
What do you say inside?
I believe that the president of this country recognizes that there are serious flaws in police and policing. And we have discussed this whole matter about police and policing on this program on many occasions. The fact of the matter is that the reasons why we're having this sort of situation where the general public are losing any kind of respect that we had in the past for police. I remember, Mr. Sharma, when I was growing up, as a young boy, I had the greatest respect for policemen. They were peace officers. They were friendly. You can approach them. You can talk to them. You can discuss things with them. A problem comes, you can tell them. Today, the ordinary citizen can't report to any of the policemen because they don't trust them. And when you go there and you hear, I've been to that station. Mr. Sharma, that's the thing I do. I go with people to the station and I see the arrogance of the ordinary police officers. Arrogance.
Okay. What advice you can get this
And
young lady?
I will talk to her.
Yeah.
I'll give her my details. I will take her to the commander.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Good. God
And happy
bless.
Mother's Day too.
God bless.
Good. Good.
God bless everyone.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
call her.
Okay.
Rama, we got to say quick. Make a point. Make your point.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Sankis was talking about the rice industry. Now look.
Just hold the line. Had to call you in the head.
Hello?
Yes, you're in here, please.
You want me to show on your panel?
Yes.
Oh, here now. What's the deal with the Lindo Creek inquiry? My suggestion, all them bundle of money that are wasting on that thing there, is take it and give each one of the family a money. Because when they're in the long run, done, you're going to hear it's something or $50 million in that inquiry.
Okay.
Take the money
Okay.
and give each one of the family
Okay.
a small piece and make them comfortable.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And get back the family.
Thank you very much.
Give them a big piece.
Be comfortable.
Colin, hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Interesting suggestion.
Chama, I buy a television December for Christmas, right?
Yes.
I pay 59,000. You got to say 60,000 for the television.
Yes.
I thought the 2-inch television.
Yes. Yes.
They want $60,000 for 2 years warranty. I couldn't afford it.
Yes.
So I didn't buy it. Now, with this constant blackout, after this blackout last night, this television ain't coming out now.
Okay.
So I don't know what to say with JPL in this country.
Well, my son got the same problem with me, same problem. The transmitter breakdown today.
So I don't know if you know the running around. If me try to recover anything, when I running around, you just get.
Come to peace.
Public Utilities
Utility.
Yeah, you will have to visit the Public Utilities Commission and register your complaint. Hello?
Green, what you tell me here, quick.
Well, we had a case where a very prominent engineer, don't recall his name right away, he was our ambassador in Africa, in fact took the power company to court, and he got some money for that fire in Duke Street. You remember? You know?
Oh, yes.
Call your name, hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name, please.
Yeah, what could that man Hamilton Green advise anybody about? Thank you.
What?
My only advice is that the world is full of idiots, and he's probably just one in number. I've learned to live with that for years now.
Freedom of expression.
Call it, hello? Hello?
Sharma, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, yes.
Listen, the lady who called your son make a statement about the bank, right?
Yes.
What I think should the bank do?
Yes.
Don't let when people in the bank, they should make a half off when people go to transact the business to the teller so people wouldn't see what they're doing and when they're doing.
Okay.
Half wall. The head could show, and the foot could show.
Okay.
But when people in the bank...
Not about secession, not about secession.
Transaction. That could cause a lot of things. So the bank should implement something like that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It's a good suggestion.
Yeah, call you in here.
Yeah.
Hello, call you in here.
Some people go and watch. Oh, there's a guy waiting on you.
Yeah. Who is that?
But
Please come. You can't disturb you at the program. Please, just take it. Come, that way we got to see. I would have done something to that. Yeah, good afternoon.
I've been come to you concern Roger Haywood.
Come, please, and tell me. What is tell me what is it?
I work with Roger Haywood.
No, we come outside back. Tell me, I'll talk to you later. We'll talk to you later, right? Can't go just interrupt the program now, right? Good, bye. Go outside, be us outside. Please wait out. Please wait. Yeah. You see, this is the problem. Yeah.
Well, that's the challenge you have as
You have to vet them outside before.
as a people station. And you just have to control them outside.
Call you in the end.
I was told yesterday, since nobody's on, that the organizers of the usual male football competition, they've reorganized it, apparently using my name. And I'd like to appeal to the public and the business to support it. It helps a lot of young men to develop over the years, and it's pretty well organized. And they cater for clubs outside of Guyana, along the corridor of the East Coast and Linden. So it's a good thing, and I hope that the organizers will call in and tell us more about it.
Call in here,
Shama.
Yes. Yes.
The PUC, don't worry to them. The only wasting time, you can't go by them. You'll get no help from them. Them telling you that GPL doing its work. So you just wasting time with PUC.
PUC.
Yes.
No, but if you go to the PUC and you get that type of response, you should report it to the highest level. That is not appropriate.
What the highest level?
They should listen
Like
to
where?
the complaint.
Like where?
Write a letter to the President's office, to the Minister responsible for public utilities, and get some. I mean, it's unbelievable that someone should go to PUC and be given that kind of treatment. Whether it's at the law or middle level, I don't know. But these utilities should ensure that the people, the public, that that they're a service to the public.
And they're well paid.
And not, well, apart from that, and not behave with this kind of arrogance. If what she says is true, she should pass the information to you, and we certainly pick the matter up. But when these people call, they should be able to identify the person to whom they spoke, the time and day, so we can pin it down.
Everything that takes place.
Yeah.
Ms. Hammer.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.
Mr. Green is right, but here what happens. I've experienced this many times. You write to the president about a particular matter, many citizens. The president quite rightly send it to the relevant authority, and there's where it's buried.
The follow-up is
That is where it's buried,
Yeah.
because there's no feedback. And if you write back to the president, which I've done, then the president is going to ask the people, have you then, that is not the duty of the president to be, everybody can't complain to the president. There are different departments of this government, and they're heads of people in government. And so we should be able to make, you're right, we should be able to make a complaint to these agencies that are set up by the government. And they have got procedures, they have got policies, they have got penalties. The problem with the PUS, the Public Utilities Commission, is that it's packed up with politically driven individuals.
How you know that? How you know that?
I know that. I can prove that.
How you can prove that?
Well, if you allow
Tell
me,
me how you can prove it. Tell me how you can prove it.
If you allow me, I will tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Because the board, these boards are appointed by ministers. And under the law, the minister has a right to appoint or remove the person. We have to have a more democratic system where the people, the ordinary people, can suggest names of people who are qualified to hold these positions on the board. That is a political system that we've inherited over the last 50 years and has not changed up to today as we speak. All right? I know some of the people on the board, Mr. Sharma. That's what I am telling you. Okay. I can call their names if you want.
No got any name.
Good, right. No, but you just asked me a pertinent question, which is, how do I know? Well, I'm telling you I know because I have people there who sit on the board, and I talk to them all the time about it. It's an impotent body.
I thought you said it didn't talk to you.
Who?
I thought you said don't
No,
talk
but it doesn't do anything. I know the people on the board, but they don't do anything. Like, I've been there physically, Mr. Sharma, on my own matter to do with my own landline telephone. Over the last 10 years, your son, the minister, wrote to them over the last 6 months and a year, 2 years, and nothing has happened. Now, you have to understand the frustration of ordinary people who don't have the ability or the capacity to deal with these officials.
On whose portfolio does that fall?
Hello? Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes. I got a water bill.
Yes.
That stated my due date for payment is the 23rd of this month. On the 12th, today is on the 10th of this month.
Yes.
The people just jumped my gate, cut off my water, and gone their way.
Who did that?
GWI, you see, they're contracting these works out.
Yes.
What happened? These contractors, everybody they cut off,
carrying the bill.
They getting money. Now what they jumped my gate, cut off my water. By the time we could show them the bill. Look, our due date is the 23rd of this month. So we are budgeting to pay before the 23rd.
Who you speak to?
Pardon me?
Who you speak to?
You haven't gone in yet.
Area.
Okay.
Now they jumped the gate, cut off the water. I had to go now, pay off the bill, pay this reconnection fee of $6,000.
Why?
And then they didn't call or anything, all we see they jump the gate and they cut off the we know that it's water. We saw the van.
It's illegal.
Lo and behold, yes, they're gonna call. Could you open the gate and we come for connect it back? When you come to cut it off, you didn't call me and tell me, could you open the gate and come for cut off your water? But what you do, when you're ready to reconnect after I paid $6,000, why are you sending a bill to me to pay before the 23rd and you're cutting me off the same day I got the bill?
Did you report the matter that you when you went into the office?
I discounted it.
That was Friday, so I planned to go Monday.
Okay.
and deal with it there, and then I'm going to the PUC or whatever it is,
You should be
public
refunded.
utility place,
Okay.
and see, because it's inconvenience. How
Yes.
could you cut me off when
You
you
should
send
be
me a bill to pay on the
refunded.
23rd?
Okay.
The
If what
23rd and
this
reach
is
it,
true.
Yeah.
and Friday, same Friday I get the bill, same Friday jump my gate. And these shops jumping your gate now and taking your water off.
Uh-huh.
That's trespassing.
I want them to remove the meter and
If
put
you
it
had
on
a
the
dog
road.
there and you got bitten, what would have happened?
I should have had a big dog or something
Okay.
loose in the yard. Why you jump in the gate? And then when you come to reconnect at 5 o'clock in the afternoon,
Okay.
could you please open your gate?
Okay.
But what are you calling me now for?
Yes.
You already take me off.
Okay.
You didn't. You jumped the gate when you're ready for cut me off. I had to pay 6,000.
Okay.
I think that's unfair.
You're
Yes,
not
I
giving
agree.
any bribe.
Okay. Thank you very much,
And
sir.
I need to stop with this contracting
I-
thing.
I- I'll
You
deal
send
with the
out
matter, I'll deal with the matter.
Water off because they know every water, every line
Yeah,
they
what-
cut,
what-
they
okay.
make your money.
Okay.
You have a number there?
You have his number?
What's your address?
What's your
What's the
address?
address?
You can-
Alberton,
you can call that.
Albert and so in Albert.
Alberton.
Your telephone number?
Easy.
Right.
So your regular caller.
I
This
don't know.
No,
He's a
no
regular caller.
called before.
Call in, hello? Hello? Hello, caller in, hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're in here,
Good
please.
evening. I want to ask a question. The man with Roger Yewood, can you allow him to highlight that program that he
Who is
has?
that? Who's
The man
that?
out there.
That you send out twice out of there. I'm a supporter of you, but I'm not comfortable
No,
in
what-
certain...
what is the
you
problem?
just hear the voice.
Madam, I can't defend Mr. Sharma. But on a program
No,
like
I'm
this,
speaking to Mr. Sharma.
No,
the
no.
guy come in there 2 times.
no.
no, but listen,
It's not probably
you,
to be
you,
on any
you can't
right
have a program
Yes, you can't
where
do that. You
people
interrupt.
think they can walk in just like that. You'll
Yeah.
have a line outside.
That's right.
There must be some order, some appointment
That's right.
made, some attempt made for some kind of order.
Explain what the
You know,
matter
it
is.
can't, we can't have a free
Yeah.
for
What is the matter, ma'am? Why
I'm
she
just-
doesn't highlight the matter herself as she came on the phone?
There's a system here in which people come on the television.
You can't
No,
go there
but
just
what
like
she
Yeah,
that.
we have to
called
come by
in,
invitation.
why didn't she highlight what the problem was?
Yes.
No, she didn't like the way in which he was treated. Mr. Sharma shouldn't call him in
He
here.
was
That's
treated
what she's
very
saying.
good.
Yeah.
No,
Call
no,
in
she's saying
here.
that he
Hello?
shouldn't call him in here.
Hello, good
Yeah.
day, Mr. Sharma.
Good day.
I just got a question I want to ask.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Green and the guy on
Yes.
the left there. I need their opinion. The government has managed to purchase for...
You gotta raise your voice.
I need your opinion, Mr. Green,
Yes.
and the guy. Your opinion,
Okay.
just
Yeah, talk louder.
speak on it, right?
Yes.
Now, do we need 4 aircraft at this time? Or we need a proper road from the newly built CGI airport or Ademar Harvest? Do we need 4 aircraft? We have any threats from Venezuela at this present moment? I need your opinion,
Okay.
both of you.
You
Thank you
ask
very
if you need 4 aircraft.
He talking about, he asking.
You talking about the army?
And if you have any.
For the army, for the army, for the army. Yeah.
Oh, at one time, the army had control of 18 aircraft. With the terrain we have, we need fixed-wing aircraft, we need helicopters, we need amphibious aircraft, in spite of Potong roads.
He
We
was
have a
talk-
vast hinterland.
You're speaking in terms of priority.
And secondly, our aircraft, apart from drones, is the best vehicle for monitoring the kind of lawlessness that's taking place in this country. We have porous borders to the south, to the west, to the east, and to the ocean, to the north. So you need aircraft. For example, the fishermen who were attacked. If you had a fleet of aircraft and they had a way to call in, aircraft can get here in 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
Well, I thought we'd agree that they should all boats should have some radio when
No,
in
I'm
distress.
responding to the
Yes.
person's call, and
Yes.
he was quite polite. He asked for advice.
Yeah.
My advice, we need more than 4 aircraft. We need fixed wings, helicopters, amphibious aircraft.
In fact, you need aircraft in different regions so that you can tackle issues there immediately.
You then
Especially in the outer...
you then need a problem of having to train more pilots. That's not easy. But one time we had Alouettes, we had Russian aircrafts, we had a lot of aircraft.
Call in here, hello? Hello? Thank you. What you like?
Yeah, with GWIC, and they have had a problem all over the years, and I'm speaking from personal experience in Duke Street. A guy sold a house, let's say about year 2000. The water, everything was closed off. They still come 10, 15, 20 years afterwards asking about the pipe that was closed off 15 years before. It's ridiculous. And up to this week, they came asking, the same man who's putting up all these buildings, Mr. Khan, he put up a building. So the people who were living the house was removed. The house was demolished. The man put concrete, and they still come and ask him about this pipe. You know, it's ridiculous that the internal departments don't know what's going on, and they're checking for a pipe that doesn't exist anymore. And I spoke to Mr. What's his name? That we call Mr. Joseph about it.
What did you say?
We said that there's some
some
internal thing that should be keeping the records.
Yes.
Your panel.
Yes.
This is something for Mr. Green to look into.
Yes.
I had called him before, and he promised to take care of it. I am calling in regards to this man that has a mechanic shop in front of your home.
Mr. Green?
I spoke to the engineer about it.
How long is that now?
But you remember
the chief engineer.
It's about 6 weeks ago. She's
Okay.
right. I can check it again.
Okay.
Well, you see
Mr. Green?
Nothing has happened?
Only yesterday we got this carpet clean and this man parked up vehicles. If you should ever get the time to come around, John and Middleton Street.
John and Middleton Street.
Vehicles are without wheels, all sorts of things.
I know you read she reported. I know that.
4 months ago. In fact, I spoke to Mr. Clark about this, and he said that he was going to speak to one of the councillors in that area. I think the councillor name was Mr. Mentor. Okay. Yes, isn't that so, Mr. Mentor?
Yes, I know. I spoke to you too, Mr. Rahama.
Yes, I know. I spoke to Mr. Clark, who is the
Oscar Clark.
Oh yeah, Mr. Oscar Clark, who is a councillor, and he's the chairperson of the finance committee. And I think he spoke to Mr. Councillor Mentor in my presence. So it's a long time ago. So, but I don't know why this.
It's over and over. She's been calling.
Yes, I know.
And no results. You know.
No results. Yes.
Mr. Green spoke too.
They came, they removed some of the vehicles in December, and from the time these people left, this man parked back vehicles again. And from December to now, you can pass, you see the same vehicles.
Well, I'm glad she mentioned it because it means that action was taken. But it appears as though it's one of these presumptuous fellows who either has some contact somewhere.
Exactly.
Like other presumptions?
Or just presumptions. You have people like that.
Other than presumptions.
But what the council must do is just carry out a program to remove the vehicles as fast as you put them and then put them before the court.
Exactly.
They have to
get serious, you know, because there's no law and order in the city. You
know? I wanted to say something, Mrs. Sharma, in relation to the caller about the GPL.
Yeah.
Now, in other countries, which we need to learn.
Not GPL, GWI.
GWI. You see, each of these are state companies, GPL, GWI, these are state companies, Gaisuko. They're public companies. Even private companies abroad, you have what is called a separate section called a consumer section where the customer can call and then they make a report, and that report is dealt with by that section. So everybody knows that they can call, write, or go. And when the customer is not in default or is not their fault, then the company compensates the customer. That is what needs to happen in this country. The Consumer Association and the Bureau of Standard you see, we have structures in this country, but the problem is they are not functioning. Yeah. So when people go, even when you send people to these structures, these functions, these agencies, they come back to you, just like what the woman who called about Middleton Street.
Yes.
She has been calling us more than 6 months.
That's true.
And we have, before Mr. Green intervened, we have taken up that matter, on a number of occasions, and this man needs to be dealt with. So the agencies are not functioning.
Condemned.
You ask yourself the question, if they they went there, they knew the problem. Now, does the woman have to call again many times to ensure that this miscreant, I call him, continuously does that? He has to be penalized. So what we need, Mr. Sharma, is enforcement.
Yeah, he was warned already.
We need enforcement. You seize his vehicle, you lock it up, charge him, put him in front of the court, and let the court deal with it. That's how you deal with it. Politicians should not get involved in this type of thing.
Okay. So what is some of your view on the matter?
Yeah, but
your view.
No, on that
Personal
matter,
view.
my personal view is that the man is really presumptuous.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can say. He's presumptuous.
Okay.
yeah.
Sangi?
Well, yeah, I agree with his assessment too. But going back to the water company, I think Dr. Charles inherited a system which is not working in terms of monitoring the water. Like when a person closes off a house and they're not using it, they're going 5 years after and still they're going every minute. They're coming back to inquire. They need to improve, revamp the systems they have in place there, right? At a water company where a person closes off, they were being supplied with water, close off, and they're still coming 3 months after, where is so-and-so? They keep asking the same question over and over. Something needs to be done. And I know it has been going on for 10 years with one place as well, and 15 years, you know, so they need to do something about that.
Sangi, waiting about education now in this country. It's a big problem.
Oh, well, somebody just called me today and told me that teachers need to give the common entrance students a timetable, so they don't have to carry so many books to school, because these little children are carrying so many books, and they're not using all the books at school. Why burden the little children with so many books at one time when they're not using it on the set
For years it's happening. For years it's happening.
Yeah, for years it's been happening.
happening.
They should give them a timetable so they don't have to carry all these heavy books on an everyday basis. In the old days at QC we had lockers, so you could always put a book in the locker and a padlock it and so on. But what I'm saying, these little children are being asked to carry these big heavy books every day, and they're not using all the books.
But I don't understand that.
Yeah.
If that is true, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
True.
We didn't have lockers at Queens in my day, but we had a timetable.
Yeah.
So you walk with your arithmetic book. In those days, you had arithmetic, geography, and you knew what you had to take to school. In fact, since many of us went for lunch, you took your books for the morning period, you left it at home after lunch. After lunch, you took the afternoon session. In my days, the bicycle had a carrier with a spring. We have all these bags I see I'm carrying.
Raleigh and Humber and Rudge.
But something has gone wrong. But mind you, it may be I'm the wrong generation.
They're dealing
but my daughter went to secondary school in Trinidad. And one day we came home and I was trying to take her bag upstairs. And the thing, I thought, a ton of bricks inside. Unbelievable. And they carried it on the backs.
They're dealing with more subjects now, you know, Mr. Green.
I don't care how many
They're doing like
subjects.
20-something subjects.
20 subjects,
Not in one day, though.
But that's the whole thing.
Not the same
Timetable,
day.
tell them what to bring on that specific.
Something's wrong.
Okay. So what is your view on education? Your view?
No, I think,
What's your name again?
Jaidev.
Jaidev, yes.
I think there has been some improvement in our educational system, and but what is really lacking is what Mr. Sankey's pointed out just now. That and I myself, I am really amused to hear such foolishness that the child got to walk with a whole bag of books when you don't have those subjects at school teaching that day. That's foolishness, absolute foolishness. So, but all in all, I think we have made strides in terms of our education.
Mr. Green, what do you think about oil and gas situation now in the country? Oil and gas.
Price gone up now?
I don't know. You got to tell me that.
You talk about what is present or what is to come.
What come? I'm present. Which one?
Well, I don't have the capacity to look into the future. All I know is that I expect the government to do what is good for the country. I have great faith in President Granger, who is head of a coalition with different groups, with different themes, different approaches. He's done a fantastic job keeping the team together. Oil and gas is a very tricky subject.
Okay.
And I can't pronounce until I get all the facts.
Yeah.
And that is made known to the public.
Yeah. I'm waiting about local government election. Local government election.
Well, the president promised that, and we had it 2 years ago.
Yes.
We'll have it again this year.
Yes.
So the people can be able to have a voice, and that the municipalities or the local authorities can function so that they deal directly with the people. I don't have to burden the ministers with everything. That's the whole idea. Local government is the linchpin of a democratic society.
Rama, what the rice situation?
Rice,
you're the rice man.
Situation.
Yes.
Okay. You asked me that before, but
Yeah.
We started off with that.
Yeah, right. We
Yes.
started off on that.
Yes.
The president is on record recently at Linden, and I'm 100% in agreement with him. In fact, it is his mantra. He keeps saying over and over again that we need to produce end products. By that he means, let us not ship out our lumber to send it to China and all these other places like what the PPP used to.
Where they sell it.
Right. We need to be able to make furniture.
Okay.
We have some of the best wood that you can ever find in the world. So we need to make.
They're coming.
So we need to make furniture. We need to be able to not sell our paddy to Mexico, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
We need to sell packaged rice to the supermarkets all over the world so that we get the best out of our produce. And we, most importantly, not only that we can sell it abroad and get foreign exchange, but more importantly, when we make finished product and export them, we also find jobs, Mr. Sharma, for our younger people and people who are unemployed. This is not happening. This is not happening, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah.
And so therefore, it's a contradiction in terms. Mr. Green quite rightly said, we have a coalition, and sometimes people think it's easy that the president is able to manage the varying ideas and people who are part of this coalition. But so far, the president has been able to keep the coalition together. How long he'll be able to do so with the AFC on board, I don't know, because they're not playing their role as a partner in this whole coalition. The president is overworked because a number of things that he wants to do is not being done by the people who are part of this partnership. And let's be honest about it. The people elect this coalition. Coalition government is the future. That can't change because of a whole set of issues which I wouldn't want to go into at this time. But the rice, come back to the rice issue. We have got to produce rice, a packaged rice, and sell it abroad. We cannot sell our paddy to Cuba and to Mexico.
To Mexico is particularly.
And the problem is, when you ask Mr. Nagamoto, what price are you getting for the farmer's paddy? He cannot answer. There is nothing in any of the things that they have put out where they show how much money the farmer, how much we are selling our paddy for
then Mexico
in Mexico.
Sends it back to Venezuela.
And Mexico mills it
Yeah,
and send it back to Venezuela.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a set of madness, Mr. Sharma. Have you ever seen such insanity in your entire life? Where you send your product, your paddy, to we in this country, Mr. Sharma, for your information and for our viewers, Guyana has the most, what I will say, we have reached that level of industrialization in the rice industry, where our rice industry is highly mechanized. That when you reap your paddy by the bulk combines, that the farmers don't see it anymore because it's gone into the truck or the trailer and it goes to the factory.
So you have to add value right here.
And it's then escalated into a silo and kept there until you see the rice in your shops.
Recently.
So we don't. So what we now need to do is to produce rice, packaged rice.
Yeah.
To sell abroad.
Rather than sell the paddy.
Rather than selling our paddy.
Yeah.
And they're not even telling us of the level of contempt that Mr. Nagamoto has for the rice farmers that you're not telling us how much you're selling the paddy for. How much you're selling the paddy for. That is the problem that
But
we
they
have.
should ask it
And
in
the
the
president went to, the president is right.
I agree with Nagamoto, or the president,
Absolutely.
the minister of
Because
agriculture.
That's a very good question
Yes.
you asked me. And let me answer you. Because he superseded the role of the Minister of Agriculture. Because I have said over and over on this program that the Minister of Agriculture doesn't care about the farmers.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I say it
what about the fishermen?
he should have been the one who would been talking about the fishermen. He should have been the one who would been talking about rice or sugar. That is why the president has taken the relevant action of removing his responsibility from Gaisuko. So we have all the assets that are being sold, the sugar factories that are being closed down. It's now being transferred to NISIL.
Oh.
So he has no responsibility for that.
So what is he doing?
Well, he's retired.
Colin, hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes,
Sharma.
good afternoon.
There's a good soul there, guy, there, man.
Yes, good.
Mr. Jaidev, he's a man that knows himself for wrong radio.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jaidev.
Okay.
He's gone.
He's
Yeah.
gone already. Good.
They say,
No, the principle of value added
yes.
was established since the
Since
Burnham
Bonham
era.
time,
Yeah.
yes.
The problem we have is how to cope with the international market. I agree with Mr. Hammond that we ought not to be exporting rice in these enlightened days. Paddy.
Paddy.
But you know, we tried with sugar at one time, we still export raw sugar. Not true.
That's the green.
That's
Change
dreaming.
of his voice.
What was that?
No, it's a guy who he put a number this time, but
IMF, I can't, look, you talk about the oil refinery. The matter's being pursued. But if these big fellas decide that they're going to take the oil in these huge tankers north, what you going to do? I know a group that came here 3 years ago, we talked about oil, to set up an oil refinery, but they soon discovered it was not feasible because they're hoping to buy oil from different places. You just have to look at Trinidad to see what happened in Trinidad, you know.
Yes.
Had it not been for Manning, and they still have problems now.
And they've had oil for over 100 years.
Exactly.
Now this guy proposes a
But
small
they
refinery, not a
own
big
the-
one, a small one just to cater for local needs and so on.
What's a small refinery? What's the investment?
The modular oil refinery, Mr. Green, you're not
modular-
you're not paying attention to what is going on in the
The
world.
I am.
You're
The
not.
model
You're not
requires
paying attention.
technique, technology, and money.
But Mr.
So you
Green,
put a modular,
Mr. Green,
listen to me, you
yeah.
put a modular refinery.
Mhm.
You don't have a Guyanese manager with experience and the competence to look at it. You're back to square X.
Well,
You're back to square
we
X.
do have these people.
Where? Call
But
one
you
name.
have,
Where are they?
Let it be said. You have people who are supposed to be in this government, who are supposed to be developing plans and programs, are part of this cartel that you are talking about.
Oil and gas.
Yes, that is what is happening, Mr. Green. Let's be honest about it. You have sections of people in this government, i.e. the AFC people, who are part and parcel of this cartel. That is why the Guyanese people are saying that they sold out. They sold out to the Americans and these big companies. That's what it is.
You have the
These
evidence?
cartels,
Well, you have the evidence of
Mr.
that?
Green, yes,
No, you have the
yes,
evidence?
I do have evidence.
Show me what
you
evidence,
go
show me
back-
what evidence.
You go back, listen to me.
Mr. Rahman, that's a very serious. And
Eh,
I will not.
Very serious.
I will not sit here.
Mr.
Listen
Green,
to me. I will not sit here
Could I finish?
and allow anybody
Mhm.
to demonize the
Are
AFC
you
or
ashamed?
anybody without the evidence.
Okay.
And number two,
Yeah.
the question we addressed a moment ago, naming the Guyanese petroleum engineers we have with the loyalty, the commitment to manage those refineries
I am going
at
to
this
bring one
stage.
here the next program.
We'll call the name.
I am going to bring one here. Surprise you! I'll bring one here. The next.
Where is that person?
They're here. We got hundreds of Guyanese living abroad.
What?
Who are willing to come here? Who are experts? Look. The Guyanese government so far, Mr. Green, for your information, has agreed, in principle, for us to set up a refinery here at the local level, a modular refinery.
So Stalin had to deal with two new people, Truman and Attlee.
That's a Labour government.
Yes.
In England, yeah.
For the first
By
time.
then, but he didn't last long. You must know the story.
I know the story. I used to live in England.
You
I know the story. I studied British history for your information. I know.
That's the mistake we make.
Why?
By
this
then,
is Labour history, by the way.
By then, Truman had under his wings the results of the Manhattan experiment. That's the atomic bomb. Germany had already capitulated. Japan was given trouble. I may ask a question, why did the Japanese invade Pearl Harbor that pushed the Americans into the war in 1942? All those issues relate to what happened in Guyana. Unless your leaders understood the nuances and the complexities of the world. Guyana's a little place, you know, less than 1 million people. We don't have enough people if you go to a big supermarket in England or the United States. There's less than that. So it took the wisdom of leaders to navigate through those troubled waters. That's why Burnham's favorite song is Bridge Over Troubled Water. Oh. He was the only bridge we had over troubled waters.
Corey, hello? Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We got some difficult problem due to power failure.
Here it is.
Yes.
You go there, peroxide I'm not for you. The doctor who took your ears. You got it, his doctor, he said, I take prescription of mine. Come on, just imagine, I'm going to peroxide about 400 or 500 that and I got
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll look into it, man. We'll look into it soon.
And here, one next thing, these two gentlemen are talking about Germany and all that things. Talk what happened in this country, man. We are talking about Germany and all that things. Talk what happened. This country ain't cares.
We had Blackout, but that's why we
couldn't
spend time talking about that.
You know, I'll find a refinery here. Because let me tell you something, when you get a refinery here, you're going to get kerosene oil. You're going to get lubricant. You're going to get gasoline.
That's true. That is true.
That's very true.
You know, do a small thing that the people can survive.
To fit our needs.
What you send all the island of America, I'll go to America now, drop them in dry. We get in the aisle, the guy is so stupid and they're mad.
Thank you very much.
And hear this one.
Yes.
They're not got nothing set aside that if I'll spell come.
That's right.
Damage the flat of the ocean.
Okay. Talk about that now.
He never got nothing like that. What happened to me?
We're discussing it.
They're discussing it. They should discussing it now.
We got to join those are.
Nigeria, you know.
Okay.
All the people are full of pocket and the people are hungry.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay. Well, I got power failure. Two things got power failure. Up and way, up and down, and due to generator breakdown. The generator now break down again. The same power failure cause generator breakdown. Cause generator breakdown. Cause thousands of
damage to the generator.
Damage the generator because it black out.
It's a very serious problem.
Yeah, serious problem.
You have a new man.
Colin, hello?
Yes, good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon, yes.
Yeah, I got to back up Mr. Rahman.
Yes.
Else Coffee should have never fight the British. Else Cuba would have never exist. Else Mugabe would have never ruled till he ruled. We had to go against enormous forces. We would have never know who's King David if we didn't fight Goliath. America comes Goliath. We got a fighter, and we win. The battle ain't done yet. It didn't even start yet. Black people in America are right there with all what they had. We had to fight them. So that is what was going on. Boredom time with Castro, and Chavez come a time when the battle still going on. And the time because when they overthrow the righteous that get ahead hung.
Okay.
And they live in poverty for eternity. And so we got to fight Goliath until Goliath defeated.
Okay.
Who died because they been dying all the time. Because when they're in poverty and in slavery, just get hair cut off all the time. So as long as people doing that, don't matter if they only got a spear, they got a fight.
Okay.
They got bricks like in South Africa.
Okay.
Just like Haiti. That's a defeat the French eventually.
Okay.
It don't matter what.
Okay.
And the battle ain't done yet because it is good and evil.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're confident in victory of good over evil.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Capitalism is evil.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's saying capitalism
Haiti is
is
still the
evil.
poorest country in the world.
Huh?
Haiti is still the poorest country in the world with all kind of poverty.
Well, it's like a curse has been put on the people.
Colin, hello?
Yeah, Mr. Sham.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes.
Mr. Rahman, thank you for those messages. was some good message we experienced from you there just now, you know. Must congratulate you concerning the agriculture minister. There's no way that the agriculture ministers come out and reach you hear the rice farmers. I'm a rice farmer.
Yes.
Hundreds of acre rice.
Yes.
Here, don't come. Right? And let me tell you something frankly on the television.
Yeah, who does come? Who does come?
Okay, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah.
Glad you asked me, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you this program that you got highlight a lot of things.
That's right.
Let me tell you, don't talk for rain, don't talk for sun. Last year, when the party crop that the people gave up, not to plant, here barely a 2-3 acre. The PPP had some people who come out to us and ask us to bear up. You have the machine, you have the rice field, continue plant. Never mind, you might get a little bit. You carry on for maintaining your family. Okay?
Yes.
When Mr. Nagamutu jumping up and say about the rice industry this year, how up, you must find out is who planting the rice. It's not he or this government, right? It's the farmers. So Mr. Rahman, thank you very much. The agriculture minister don't visit you, don't give you anything. Okay? Thanks.
Okay, thanks. The man is still very straight. Can't be actually. You advise the people.
Yeah, that's right.
Call the header.
You got it.